Hello, my name is Shelley, and welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as Persia. In previous episode we got pulled into a nonsensical war between Russia and Britain, and we're getting pretty much all of our nation occupied in here. So one thing that I'm going to do, since our armies are basically non-existent, I'm going to demobilize them. That means that our nation will get occupied a lot faster, which probably means that Russia will then lose the war faster, which, you know, that works fine for me, and that we also don't need to be paying the armies as much. And also, we're not going to be taking more casualties on there, so that's fine by me. As Russia doesn't help us, we're not going to help them. We've still got a GDP of 16 million, though. That's probably going to drop a lot once the war is over. But at least the economy is still growing. We're getting fertilizer. Oh, actually, we're getting 2 fertilizer plants. I suppose that's fine. One in Turkmenia. Is there... Well, there is a room for sulfur mines. Actually, a lot of them in there, so I suppose that makes sense. We might have a bit of a... economical crash here shortly, though. Because, you know, our nation gets occupied. What is this then? Pretty Raj versus, Oh, they got a revolt in there. Okay. I'm going to declare neutrality on that. It looks like Britain is also running a little bit low on war support. Russia hasn't started to... I suppose... Oh, right. Shandong Treaty Port. Hold on, so which one is that? Is that... Oh, right, Qingdao. That's what's going on in there. Oh, Cape Colony is on default. So, you know, of the war participants, I might be the only one that is actually making money right now, but it's partially because we don't have active armies and we've still got high taxes right now. So that does play quite a bit of part there. But we did reduce the construction cost quite significantly as well over here. That does help. There's a lead mine being built on our capital and another silk plantation into Briz, which I suppose is fine. I suppose another thing that I might want to do is, since we do know that the clothing is in pretty high demand, if we have a look at the local price, we know that Mazandaran and our capital definitely could use a bit of production, and Isfahan as well for that. We've got some places that do already have some production for it, but maybe... Oh! Okay, there we go. So... Anes Kuch and Congo Gujarat. Alright then. Right, now that we're no longer in the war, how about we have a look at Britain? Are they willing to support our independence? No, not right now. They are still antagonistic. I think that's going to change very shortly, though. As soon as... There we go. Now they're protective. They will support our independence. Huzzah! And that then begs the question. If I was to go and demand our independence now, suppose they British have not accepted... There we go. So now if we have a look at that, they will not accept the peace deal. I do wonder who would join. So Austro-Hungary might join the Russian side because they seem to be having good relations there. I do wonder, could I maybe get one more nation to support my independence? Yeah, I mean, I was kind of hoping the French Republic to do so, but no, that's going to be pretty far off. Anyone else that is even remotely close? Scandinavia is 105 in the negatives. Ottoman Empire minus 70. I guess the Ottomans are probably the closest one that I might be able to get. Unless we can get an alliance with someone. Egypt might be an option. I would have to... You know what? Let's go ahead and improve relations with Egypt first. No, actually, we can't improve relations any further. Could set up a defensive pact with them. I said, oh no, we need to get the... Or we need to give an obligation for them to begin with. Okay, so that's probably not going to happen. Not yet, at least. But there we go. So now that the war is over, we can allow the economy to recover a little bit. We could potentially go ahead and reduce the taxes again to make sure that the... Like, we are losing a bit of money now. But that is going to allow us to then let the wealth start increasing a little bit, hopefully. And our GDP had dropped back to, like, 50 million. It is still above the 40 million that we had at the start of the previous episode. But that might still be dropping for a while now. I do actually wonder, if we have a look at the mobilization, so we are giving tobacco to our troops. We could potentially give liquor. And I suppose the chocolate as well, that's going to increase the sugar input a little bit. It's going to increase the cost as well a little bit, but that's going to be mostly fine. Could potentially give the extra supplies, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. Labor power, industrialists, oh yes, they should be recognized for this. The industrialists now had 12%, oh there we go. Let's have a look at the government. So if we were to reform the government a little bit, we can't really get the industrialists in power easily, at least. We got good legitimacy, at least, so that's good. Right, another thing that I could try to do, so there's a bit of support for interventionism, but we can't really pass that law yet, I don't think. I mean, we could try, but it's probably not going to succeed. On the other hand, it's only about a quarter chance for it to be, you know, having bad events there. So we could give it a go. What's the worst that could happen? There's at least some support for it, and if we could, I don't think we can, but let's just assume that we will get the industrialists in there. No, that's going to be very unacceptable government. That's not going to happen then. I guess we'll get the ulema in there again, and just not worry about the reform. So now we're not getting quite as much money into the investment pool, which is still nearly 4 million, mind you. But if we can get rid of the agrarianism, or rather traditionalism, we can then get better tax laws, we can get the... well, I suppose more of the construction will then be utilized by the private sector, which can be good and can be bad. On one hand, it's going to be good because the investment pool will then be covering more of the construction costs, assuming that the private sector is doing the construction, which it will be. But at the same time, it's going to have a bit of, you know, we have less control of what's going to be built and where. But I suppose at that point, we can then focus a lot more on building the opium, because if we have a look at the opium production, we are still a number 5 producer in there. We are quite a bit behind the Sikh Empire. So that is something that we need to... Oh, right. We would normally be number 4, actually, because British Raj is having a revolt in there, so that's both of the half of that is still a higher producer than we are in terms of opium. But we can probably catch up to them at some point. We're getting the railway in Tehran built fairly shortly. Could maybe build the opium plantation in our capital as well, just to increase the production there. That should fix the infrastructure issues there as well. Although right now there's no issues because we got the infrastructure decree in there, but that's something that we do want to keep an eye on. How's the transportation in here? We have a little bit shortage. Not massive one, mind you, but a little bit. We will eventually get a bit more transportation in here to reduce the labor use. How's the army size looking like right now? Probably not very good. Got about 20,000 men there. Another 17,000 men there, and then we've got a few thousand over here. So yeah, we are definitely still looking pretty rough in terms of that war. Russia is, well, they're hostile towards us. If we were to declare independence, they would not accept that. They would still get quite a support from a lot of the tributaries. Of course, Russia itself is going to be quite sizable. Britain and Qing supporting us will give us a bit of an advantage in there. I don't know if we'd be able to win that. I suppose, let's actually have a look. If the British have a lot better armies, so they've got skirmish infantry, shrapnel artillery, that makes quite a difference, actually. Another thing that I could do is just build some more artillery for my armies. That might already help a decent bit. Oh dear, we had a general die. Which one is it? It's this second army that needs a new general. We'll get the one from the armed forces. I don't... actually... We're going to take the landowners. The defensive strategist over there seems like a smart idea. I'll give that one a promotion. Now, is there any of the institutions that we can increase? Law enforcement, yes, but I don't want to increase the landowners' political strength right now. Home affairs could be useful to get another level. Colonial affairs we don't really need at this point. I mean, we could potentially try to colonize a little bit in the Pacific, but the states over here aren't really that great. But there's a bit of the whaling that we could get, so we can get a bit of oil. But the problem is that we need to then have enough convoys and navies to protect the convoys and all that for every war that we fight. Well, not every war, but most of the wars, especially right now since we're getting pulled into not particularly useful wars for us. Alright, the Persian Hazaristan is having some issues in here. I suppose there's a bit of population in there, but there's no transportation. Wait, do they actually use... No, not for that one. Or for that one. Okay. Alright, well, there's a little bit of stuff in there. Right, and we're getting the fertilizer plant in Khorasan. Which, to be fair, is that... well, there's a little bit of farming in here, so it can use... or can be somewhat useful, yeah. We've got some coal mines in here. I don't think that fertilizer plant in here is going to be particularly great, though, because there's no sulfur production in there. But it is what it is. Silk plantation in our... Right, that's by the Russians, isn't it? Yeah, Tabriz. That's going to get built fairly shortly. We're getting another paper mill in our capital soon enough. We do still have about 1.3 million in cash reserves. We can also go on speed 4, actually, I just realized. So that's going to speed up things a little bit. We are still 14 months away from the corporate charters. So that's something that we definitely want to increase or get it going as soon as possible. We are still losing some GDP, although I think we might be turning it around now. 14.3 million still. So there's a lot of work to do. We have gotten the literacy rate up to 38.6%. It's as high as it's been thus far, and the standard of living seems to be growing slowly. So the overall situation in our nation is improving. There's a lot of work to do, mind you, but it is improving. Munitions plant... Ah, right, so that is still hiring... Oh, they need explosives. And for explosives, we've got one place that is producing it. I believe that was Kerman, right? Yes, Kerman. They produce 80. We do... Right, the total buy orders in the market is... Oh, gold mines use that. With our clause... The bourgeois and landowners are split over the semantics of the clause regarding interventionism. Hamza Chemshidian. So we can get petite bourgeoisie a bit more political strength, which would be nice. Or landowners. Yeah, no, petite bourgeoisie will get more strength in there. That might reduce the strength of the landowners at least. There's still a fairly high chance of getting installed, a much higher chance of getting installed than success. But if we get lucky with the debates, we can get that law passed at some point, which would be nice. Paper mills are getting a bit more power, the level up over there is going to happen very shortly. Standard of living will soon be reaching a 10, I think. Litter rate will be hitting 40% soon-ish. We've got a decent bit of bureaucracy, and there we go. We've got the paper mill. That's going to be probably fairly profitable. And admittedly, the state does own 2 levels of this. So that's already a decent dividends from there. I mean, it could be better, mind you, but it's a decent dividends regardless. And the production, oh wow, they hired everyone pretty much immediately. There is still, okay, Russian market is still having quite a shortage of paper. Locally, though, we've got a decent amount right now. So that at least does help, which does reduce the upkeep cost of our government buildings and all that sort of stuff. Mainly the government administration and universities, mind you, but if we can keep the price of paper somewhat low in here, that would be quite nice. Admittedly, it's a bit easier said than done, but it's not too bad right now. So we're getting the steel mill in our capital, as well as the opium plantation, just to get the extra opium. I suppose another thing that I could do is the tools, we got decent amount in here. We could get another iron mine, just... Oh wait, is the iron price locally? It's actually not that bad. Alright then. I suppose the best way to check that is, let's have a look at the local prices. So the things that we know that we do construction in, the iron price is actually not that bad anymore. Okay, what about another thing that we might want to check is logging cams. How's the wood price on those? Well, in our capital we can't increase that too much. In Tabriz it's not too bad. In Isfahan could maybe be increased a little bit. And I believe we've got, yeah, we've got a construction there. Or construction section there, so that's going to allow us to get a little bit more... Oh, and there's an opium plantation being built in there. That's probably... Well, oh yeah, that's by the Russians. But that does still count for our production of opium. So we are currently still number 5, because the revolt is still ongoing in India. But we are hopefully going to be catching up to at least 1,000... Oh, pretty large damage in relations. Please no. Although it looks like the aristocrat revolt is actually losing the... Yeah, so pretty large. You're antagonistic. I'm going to go ahead and improve relations with you. And then I suppose with Egypt, I can't really do too much at this point. Let me just double check the potential for support independence. No one would support us. Right. Well, other than Britain and China, I suppose, which, you know, there's already something. Oh, looks like, Scandinavia is fighting a bit of war, as well as Bavaria. So actually, who is in this war here? Oh, right. Unification War. So there's conquer various states from Scandinavia, humiliate France, conquer Bavaria and Franconia, Baden-Württemberg, Schleswig-Holstein, and Alsace-Lorraine. Right, so that's what's happening in there. Don't know which side is actually going to be winning that war, to be fair. Right now, I think it's kind of inconclusive. Right, we need another 15 weeks for the steel mill upgrade. That's hopefully going to increase the availability of steel here. It may not be the best. I'm sure that it will help. I mean, at least the iron price has been reduced drastically at this point, so that already makes it a lot cheaper, at least locally, to produce the steel. So there is that. What else do we need in the market? Explosives. We need quite a bit of that. Munition. More opium, of course. More engine, steel, paper. Steamers, unfortunately, I don't produce any of that. One of the things that... Oh, right, we got the... Army is now built up to 70 battalions total, of which... oh, right, it was the 7 battalion army over here that got most of it. Skirmish infantry, right? Oh, no, it is not. We could turn it into skirmish infantry at least. So, is there still room? There's a bit of people in Balochistan we can still activate. And then I suppose what I could do, so I can go ahead and increase the first army. How much do we have? We've got 26 infantry. We don't have a lot of artillery, so I'm going to go ahead and build at least another 2 battalions of that. And I think our capital will probably do for now, because that's going to be having a lot of population anyway. Confusion and delay. So, more movement support and radicalism and more authority. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take that one. That should, yeah, there we go. We've got 14% now. We do get a little bit more authority, which does mean that we could either put in another consumption tax, or we could go ahead and put in some other decree. Maybe... So where do we actually have... Kerman doesn't have anything. Simon doesn't have anything. Arabistan could be potentially a good place to have some more stuff. We got a lot of agriculture in there. We're going to go ahead and increase the agriculture throughput there even further. Because that's going to allow us to get more wheat, cotton, dyes, opium, and all that. So all of these are going to be doing more. We got the food industries in here already. I do actually wonder, with the pot stills, no, they wouldn't really make much of a difference in the pricing at all. Okay, it actually might not be giving us that much more money right now. I think we may need to increase the taxes again. That way we can reduce the deficit. We could always sell some more buildings that we have built, though, like the paper mills over here. We could go ahead and... I don't know if I want to sell these, actually, because that reduces the... Well, we get some money back from there anyway. The motor industries we are holding on to, which actually seems like that, yeah, the engine price over here isn't that great. Is the engine price on... Oh, right, the market price has collapsed. Okay, so having these 3 in here is not really making things that much easier. We could potentially reduce the labor use at least. We might be able to get some more production through there. Munitions plant can't really do too much right now. Or too much extra right now. The steel mill will at least be completed. We'll get the opium plantation. We've got plenty of bureaucracies to have a lot of state-owned stuff, to be fair. So we don't actually need to sell things. But if we do sell things, we can get a little bit more cash reserves going. So I suppose another place we did build... actually. Do you have a university down here? We do not. We might want to get one there. Just to get the innovation up. I mean, we can get the innovation up to 109 right now. We're pretty far away from that. Looks like there's a bit of a... revolution going on down in need once more. It's like once a decade at least. But there we go. Now we're getting the extra barracks. And then I suppose that should get us to... Oh, actually. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to go ahead and increase the 3rd army a little bit in size. So we've got 4, 3... I'm going to go ahead and get 1 more infantry in there. Which I suppose... I don't know if it can actually be outside of there. Now, I was just going to go ahead and focus on... Actually, no, it probably can be. Let's have a look. Of the regions... North India is just that one for us. So if we want to increase... Oh, there's 13 battalions, though. Which some of that is already in the other armies. Yeah, there's a lot of skirmish infantry, a bit of lancers over here. Okay, so we could potentially move some of those back into this army, or, you know, we can just, technically speaking, we can put in battalions for the armies elsewhere, which I think we might actually do that. So we'll go ahead and spread it a little bit into, well, Bumper doesn't really have the population. Kerman might have. I think Herat can provide at least 1. And so that's going to get us to total 8. And we'll get a couple lancers over here, maybe. That's going to be 10 battalion army over here for the India side, which, again, is not much, but it will most likely help at least getting our army size a bit higher, and then we can also go ahead and get ourselves, like, at least 80 battalions would be nice. Getting more than that would be okay as well. I could still demand the independence. Austro-Hungarians are still going to be supporting. Is that alright? They're allied. Right, well, that would complicate things a little bit. Moldova would also support them. Our side currently would have, well, actually... Britain would be bringing a lot of their vassals in as well, wouldn't they? Once we got the armies built, I think we will actually go for the independence war. Because we've got a fairly good relations with Britain still. At least for now. Actually, what I might do is stop that relation improvement there. Maybe stop improving relations with Austro-Hungary as well, because they will not be helping us. We can support or help increase the relations with Britain a little bit higher than that. And I suppose also Qing... No, we can't increase relations with you. Okay. Egypt, I don't think we're getting improved relations there either. Russia, no, that's also maxed out. Scandinavia, no, we don't. Oh, right, we don't have the points to upgrade or improve relations with either one of those. Okay, we'll just let that be for now. So we're getting the logging camp in Isfahan. We're getting a bit more barracks in our capital. We're probably going to keep the decree over there for now. How are we looking on infrastructure anyway? We don't have a huge amount of extra there. We do have a little bit, but not a huge amount. We have reached almost 40% in literary rate, and standard of living hasn't actually increased that much. We have reached 15.3 million in GDP at least. So that is slowly increasing. Sick leave. Either we take a -7% chance, and the agitator is going to get wounded, or speed of recovery that's -15%. No, we'll get a bit more, you know, rolls in here. We might still get some... Oh, gold depleted, incorrect. Alright then. Personal plant will be done soon enough as well. And what's the... Oh, right, they're building another silk plantation. The Russians, that is. Our construction cost is down to 20,000, so that's actually not that bad. The problem is that we don't really have that much money yet to build more. But yeah, we'll get the barracks built, and that's going to allow our army size to increase up to... I think it should be getting us to 75 battalions soon enough. Which, you know, that's already going to be a fairly good increase overall. Definitely not going to be enough to fight the Russians fully, but that's going to be at least... hopefully enough to hold the ground, at least against the 1 or 2 fronts. At least, hopefully in the Caucasus, and or clearing out some of the smaller fronts over here. That would be the ideal situation. But we do need to increase the army size a bit further than that. The fertilizer plant in Khorasan is going to be done in 2 weeks. It's still going fairly slowly, mind you. No, we are starting to get a little bit more support for the law, at least. In theory. In practice, it's not a huge amount yet. And just 3 more months for the corporate charters. Excellent. Are we now back to number 4 in the opium? Yes, we are. Okay, we have reached 800 production. Almost. We still need to get another 120 or so to catch up with Sikh Empire. To start getting some prestige through there, which, you know, it's a bit easier said than done. But I suppose at least the army size is increasing, so that's going to give us a bit more prestige. Which actually, if we have a look at the Liberty side, is that going down? It is not going down at all right now. Which that is nice. We still probably have a massively bad relation with the Russians, for a good reason, mind you. Oh, there's a sugar plantation. Right, that's... Oh, they're building another motor industry. Okay, and a fertilizer plant. I don't think there's a huge demand for motor industries or engines right now. I suppose if that's what they want to build... actually, I could be mistaken on that. No, there is actually a decent demand in the... Well, some demand in the market. It's not massive. Coffee is still in a very high demand, though, but there's no one really that can... grow that in the market, so that's a problem. Eventually we do need to start getting a bit of fleet as well. Right now we don't really have much. Arabistan, we could probably go ahead and get another port level there, actually. Hey, law progress consideration. Okay, that's a lot better than I expected, I'll be honest. But yeah, if we can pass that law, that'd be nice. There wasn't quite a few rolls, so we didn't quite get it as quickly as on the sort of discarded timeline. Where we managed to pass the agrarianism in like 4 or 5 rolls, which is, we started with, I think, 17% support. And I think we did get one success in such, or advance in such a way that it gave us like plus 10%, so it was 27% chance when it passed, or 28 maybe. But yeah, that was, oh, actually. Right, the government, oh right, there's more barracks being built, and the port in Arabistan. Right, what else do we need? Soon enough, it might be time to start doing more construction, but that is not quite yet. We'll get another railway, although is that... No, it is actually getting a bit more money in there. Not a huge amount of cash reserves going up there, though. But that would allow us to get more infrastructure in our capital, which might not be a bad idea. Ooh, all discovered intrusive coast, okay. And corporate charges will be completed right about now. There we are. And we know exactly which one to take. It's going to be the opium. So that should definitely increase our opium production a lot. But now... Okay, it's currently 800 still. I do wonder if it's actually going to update the numbers directly, or do we need to... I suppose they probably need to hire some people right now. Or did that... no, yeah, no, I did not update those numbers yet. Oh, all discover intrusive coast. Do I actually... Oh, right, no, that's got to be down here, isn't it? Yeah, no. Well, I suppose, technically speaking, is that Bahrain? 13... Oh, wow, that is a lot. Right, actually, speaking of our subjects, Bahrain's limited supply is pretty high. It is going down, though. And actually, that's one of those things that I should probably go ahead and improve relations with them as much as I can. I can't actually do too much more. If I reduce their autonomy, they might accept that. We're not going to demand that quite yet. What about the Mamana over here? There's also 44% chance to accept. I can't improve relations with them either. But yeah, they'll also keep things as is for now. We do get a little bit of money from them, although it's basically tiny compared to... Well, actually, we're not paying anything to the Russians yet, which is a good thing. And there we go. We've surpassed 40% literary rate. We have still... Okay, so we've gone about 40 years thus far. So we've still got a decent bit of time to maybe get the achievement for increasing the literary rate. Starting with a lower one and then just, you know, increasing that over time. Right, so what are we researching now? We're getting the rifling. After that, we're getting the Bessemer process in society. We could get the joint stock companies to get even... Oh, max urbanization. That would be quite nice. Nationalism would give us a bit more authority. Central banking would be quite nice for the extra minting. Pharmaceuticals, that will be completed before we get around to that anyway. Realism would allow us to get some more art, which would be useful as well. I suppose that would give us a bit more prestige. That could become very useful. On the other hand, things like the postal savings would allow us to, you know, get more investment pool contributions. I think we're going to go with the central banking. I think that's going to be a fairly decent improvement in them. So it looks like the mechanized workshop, that's... well, it is almost halfway done. Well, it's about 42% right now, but it is coming along quite nicely. And I'm really hoping that we can get the interventionism completed. If we can do that, we can then increase the construction speed at least to like 50, maybe even 60 points total. And that might start raining the construction or investment pool a decent bit. But I think that's still going to be a decent amount that we can utilize. Actually, at this point, it might be worthwhile getting another construction sector in our capital. Although we're running a little bit... Oh, Citizens Association. We add a 10%. Yeah, we'll get the 10% boost there. Right, so if we were to get another one in here, that would be probably a bit of a problem. Tabriz, do they have... They have iron mine in there. Could get another construction sector up there. It might be a bit expensive, but I think we are going to actually do that. Which is, technically speaking, now going to start tapping into some of the extra costs right now. But that's going to get us to 50 points already. We've got 18% chance now, so I think we can pass the interventionism. It's not going to be easy, mind you, but I think there's a good chance that we will pass that over time. So let's go and do that then. We have reached 16.1 million in GDP, so I'm guessing the opium production is now... Yeah, we're at 900, so it's a decent increase in there. Still got a little bit more work to do to catch up, or, you know, take the first spot there, but we are getting closer to that at least now. We do still have the increased taxes, which is, you know, not necessarily the best, but it is what it is. And I suppose as long as we can get through the, or rid of the treasury system, that's going to improve the market access a lot. We'll get a lot more investment pool stuff, and then I suppose... Oh, right, then we can nationalize without compensation as well. Ooh, we could take over the Russian-held stuff. I think I like the sound of that. I don't actually know if we can. We might be able to do that. I do wonder, actually, so what does the interventionism then unlock? Does that allow us... no, we can't nationalize without compensation still. Never mind then. We can potentially, you know... I don't know if we can even buy that. Oh, right, so the construction is almost done. I suppose what we could let the private sector take over for a moment, so we can save up a bit of money. Although we've got a decent bit of cash still. So what do we need? Explosives, munitions, more steel... I do actually wonder, so would the steel mill up here still be very profitable? I reckon it probably would be. I mean, it's still 18. It's not quite as good as it used to be. Where do we... Right, Isfahan is another place that is decent for that. We could potentially increase the coal mines up here, as well as the iron mines. We got some tooling workshops already in here, so steel mill, that could be useful. But we'll start with those two mines, and once those are built... oh, France is damaging relations, but that's not good. Okay, we have gotten up to 75 battalions. It might be time for us to declare our independence war. I don't know if it's going to go well, but I suspect that will got us a slightly better chance this time around at least. So independence, we're not going to declare it quite yet because I do see that we are basically out of time with this episode. I'm going to just first double check the numbers in here. So there's going to be about 400 and something battalions against us. Probably close to 500. Our side will have, well, this doesn't include, of course, the British vassals, which are quite numerous. So right now it's about 400-ish. total battalions on our side, plus, you know, the conscripts, I suppose, which our side, China has a massive amount of them. And I suppose Britain does also have a decent bit, but so does Russia. But I think total in terms of conscripts, our side does have more. I don't have any myself. I tend to just go with the professional army. But yeah, so that is where we're going to end this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll show you the links down below in the description. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.